In this standard code of conduct area, we'll discuss legal and business issues.
The company requires its employees to ensure that gifts and hospitality offered by suppliers and potential suppliers of goods and services to the company are declined. This applies whether gifts or hospitality are offered within or outside in normal working hours. The only exception to this area will be trivia gifts with a nominal value of less than $50, such as calendars, diaries, chocolates, or mugs. This can be accepted. All other gifts must be politely refused, or if received through the post, returned with a suitable worded letter signed by the department manager. Employees having official dealings with contractors and other suppliers of goods or services must avoid transacting any kind of private business with them by any means other than the company's normal commercial channels. No favor or preferences as regards to price or otherwise, which is not generally available, should be sought or accepted. Outside interests include directorships, ownership, part ownership, or material shareholders in the company's businesses, or consultancies like to seek business with our company. These should be declared to the individual's line manager, as should the interests of a spouse or partner or close relative. It is not the intention of the company or this policy to dissuade employees from working or participating in active public duties. It is important, however, that by doing so there is no suggestion to a third party that the employee is acting on behalf of the company. To avoid misunderstanding, no company employee should permit his or her company affiliation to be noted in any outside organization's materials or activities without the express written approval of a member of the senior management. The company has a strict anti-bribery and corruption policy. A bribe is defined as giving someone a financial or another advantage to encourage that person to perform their functions or activities improperly, or to reward that person for having already done so. If you bribe or attempt to bribe another person, intending either to obtain or retain business for that company, or to obtain or retain as an advantage in the conduct of the company's business, this will be considered gross misconduct. Similarly, accepting or allowing another person to accept a bribe will be considered gross misconduct. In these circumstances, you'll be subject to formal investigation under the company's disciplinary procedures, and disciplinary action up to and including dismissal may be applied. Under no circumstances shall firearms, fireworks, explosives, or weapons be brought to any company office, job site, or function. For the purpose of this policy, tools used in the normal course of business are excluded. No employee shall be involved in theft, fraud, or embezzlement. If you know or suspect an employee is involved in this area, it's your duty to report the wrongdoing to the company president or vice president. The company prohibits and will not tolerate sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is defined as unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature when submission to or rejection of this conduct, explicitly or implicitly, affects an individual's employment, unreasonably interferences with the individual work performance, or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Please see the policy for more details. All words or actions that may constitute illegal harassment, including sexual, racial, or other illegal or prohibited harassment, shall not be tolerated. Any victim of harassment shall immediately report the matter to their supervisor. Behaviors including forgery, inaccurate employment documents, inaccurate time cards, and inaccurate expense reports are considered falsifying documents or records. The company recognizes that discrimination and victimizations are unacceptable. Our aim is that our workforce will be truly representative of all sections of society, and each employee feels respected and able to give their best. We oppose all forms of unlawful and unfair discrimination or victimization. All employees, whether part-time, full-time, or temporary, will be treated fairly and respectful. Our staff will not discriminate directly or indirectly, and this policy and the associated arrangements shall operate in accordance with statutory requirements. Our commitment is to create an environment in which individual differences and the contribution of all our staff are recognized and valued. Every employee is entitled to a working environment that promotes dignity and respect to all. Training and development and progression opportunities are available to all staff. We promote equality in the workforce. Any breaches of equality policy were regarded as misconduct and could lead to disciplinary proceedings. This policy is fully supported by senior management. Responsibility for ensuring that there is no unlawful discrimination rests with all. The staff should comply with the policy and arrangement, not discriminate, not victimize, harass, or intimidate other staff, ensure no individual is discriminated, and inform their manager if they become aware of any discriminatory practices. Unauthorized use includes using equipment without performing a daily check, using equipment for other than its designated use, or using equipment for which you have not been trained. Company telephones, including company cell phones, are provided for business purposes. Occasionally, personal calls may be necessary and should be kept brief. Personal long-distance calls are prohibitive unless paid for by the employee. Fighting and abusive behavior include horseplay, practical jokes, abusive and foul or vulgar language, damaging property, threatening or intimidating behavior. The company operates as an alcohol and drug-free workplace. This means that the company prohibits the use or possession of any of its premises, work sites, or job sites any of the following: alcoholic beverages, narcotics including marijuana, illegal drugs, drug paraphernalia. No employee shall report to work or work under the influence of intoxication or drug, including prescription drugs, that will adversely affect their performance or the safety of others. Employees at work and are suspected to be under the influence of intoxicating substance involved in an accident or injured may be requested to provide a breath, blood, or urine sample for testing. Legally prescribed drugs are permitted on company property and work sites, provided they are legally prescribed to the patient in possession of the drug and are in an original prescribed container. Employees in dangerous or safety-sensitive positions must register prescription drugs with the safety officer. This policy is intended to assist individuals who believe they have discovered malpractice or impropriety. It is not designed to question financial or business decisions taken by the company. The company is committed to the highest standards of openness, probity, and accountability. An important aspect of accountability and transparency is the mechanism to enable staff and other members of the company to voice concerns in a responsible and effective manner. Where an individual discovers information which they believe shows serious malpractice or wrongdoing within the organization, this information should be disclosed internally without fear of reprisal. There is legal protection to employees against being dismissed or penalized by their employees as a result of publicly disclosing certain serious concerns. It should be emphasized that the policy is intended to assist individuals who believe they have discovered malpractice or impropriety. It is not designed to question financial or business decisions. The scope of the policy is designed to enable employees who've seen malpractice or impropriety. These concerns could include financial malpractice or impropriety or fraud, failure to comply with legal obligation or statutes, dangers to health or safety or the environment, criminal activity, improper conduct or unethical behavior, or attempts to conceal any of these. Employees should at all times conduct themselves in such a way to enhance the reputation of the company. The company will support employees who become aware of and are willing to report breaches of this policy, or who genuinely believe that a breach is occurring, has occurred, or is likely to occur with the business. Employees should raise the issue internally with their manager or supervisor or in accordance with the company's whistleblowing policy. These standards of conduct are intended to clarify standards required by the company of its employees. Staff who fail to comply with the guidance detailed in this policy could be subject to, following a full investigation, to disciplinary action up to and including dismissal. If through their actions or omissions staff are found to be in contravenance of this policy or indeed their legal responsibilities, then the company reserves the right to take legal action if it deems necessary. Let's work together to develop high-impact, low-cost presentations for your organization.